From the gas pump to the grocery store, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much-needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton, with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/switch. That's mintmobile.com/switch.
This is a Lip Media podcast.
Hello, Lamely. This is the fabulous Adam Richard, Fab for short, and joining me on this journey into the mind of Mariah Carey is Posh, Phillip Lee Curtis. How are you, darling?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. Welcome to another bonus episode of Me. I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. The book comes out this week.
I know.
Can you believe it? It's just days away. Days away. We are, of course, launching our first episode with the first chapter on the 9th of November. But thanks for joining us early, if you are joining us early. We have a lot to talk about in the world of Mariah. So shall we jump headfirst into Me moments?
Let's do it. Me moments. All right. So this week we obviously had the big thing that we're going to talk about. But we've got a few little bits and pieces, little teasers that Mariah's thrown out there.
So many things happening. So many.
Firstly, we just need to talk about the new hashtag, #OhHomo.
Oh, homo!
So the Lamely have shortened out here on my own to #OhHomo, and Mariah has embraced it with open arms.
Oh, homo.
There's really nothing to say about it other than it exists.
That hashtag #OhHomo was my nickname in high school.
It still is. Let's be honest.
It still is.
We also had a little bit of controversy when Mariah may have accidentally cancelled Thanksgiving.
That was one of my favourite moments because I noticed a lot of people were replying to Thanksgiving is cancelled, all in capital letters, with "Oh my God, you've been hacked again." Were you around during the hacking scandal?
No, as in this one. I've been around other hacking scandals.
No, Mariah, was it earlier this year, New Year's Day, or the 2nd of January or something? And the first tweet that I saw was Eminem has a small penis.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Mama has had a few too many champagnes for New Year's.
That's the thing. It didn't feel like a hack because it felt like it absolutely could be true. So.
Just felt like, basic shade. And then it started sliding down into weirdness. I was like, oh no, someone's gotten in. Someone's in her account. And I just love her a couple of hours later going, oh, you have one nap.
I know. Can we guess what Mariah's password would be?
Well, it's like a bunch of people would be using it. When you
That's true.
I used to have a bunch of people in my account. I know recently someone that I used to work with had some issues where she supposedly posted something racist and then said it was a bunch of Black Thunders from when she worked in radio had access to her account. And I was like,
Carrie Ann, my God.
I know. But yeah, it's when you work in radio, just like everyone can get into your socials. It's and you have access to a whole bunch of socials. I have to be very careful about not posting to the Fox FM Breakfast Facebook page at midnight from the Peel.
Oh my God.
It was like, oh yeah, I'll just put this. No, Adam, not now.
You're logged into the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think there would have been a bunch of people with passwords, but
I'm just wondering,
if
it was a fan, would we just sit there going, okay, glitter unicorn 12,
butterfly 1, butterfly 2.
Yeah, very much. But no, of course, Mariah was just throwing out some chapter names for us. Little bit of a tease.
How good were they?
I'm very excited.
Are we going to go through them or should we wait?
I haven't written them down, but if you have them.
Oh, have you not? I did. I screenshotted them.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so I screenshotted it. We've got Thanksgiving is cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they were all in capital letters, like Mariah's
It's an announcement.
shouting.
Yeah.
Should I shout them like
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
emojis on The Circle? Did you watch The Circle on Netflix?
No, I've only watched The Circle on Channel 10 starring Chrissy Swan.
Oh, that's a different one. Yeah.
That's the better one. I don't know what the other one is.
They all live in this apartment building, and the only way they can communicate with each other is through The Circle, which is their television, and it's like a social media network just for them in the building.
God.
Like it's like Big Brother, but they can't see each other.
Oh, okay.
And so there's like some of them are catfishing, but they always want to use emojis in their messages to each other, but they just for some reason they shout them. It's like winky face, smiling eyes,
Eggplant.
So I'm just obsessed with shouting emojis. Anyway, Thanksgiving is cancelled. Is the first one. Then there can be miracles. Which of course is from
Bracket, When You Believe.
When You Believe.
People can't see me doing the bracket hands, but I am.
Calamity and Dog Hair. I do not remember that song.
That might be on the rarities as well.
Calamity and Dog Hair. Resting in Pieces. That sounds like a difficult chapter. One Summer Night, We Ran Away for a While.
Oh. ...
And then she after she tweeted Thanksgiving is cancelled, obviously there was a lot of reaction, and she's like, breaking, it's not.
No. BT dubs. It's all good. Another thing that has happened related to the book is Mariah starting to send out little gift packages to some fellow celebrities.
I saw this.
Complete with Mariah Carey tissues.
I know, because it's a sad book and you will cry.
Here's the incentive.
Speaking of, there is a crying moment that we're going to get to later in the episode that I'm very much looking forward to.
Oh, heaven. A single tear moment? Or a full...
Oh, no, there were double. There was a second.
Okay. But the other quick little things that I just wanted to make note of is Mariah sent her congratulations to Schitt's Creek, the cast of Schitt's Creek, for their 1,000 Emmys, because they are
a lot of
huge.
Emmys.
Dan Levy is a huge Mariah fan, and she's mentioned a lot in that show, so that was lovely.
Very exciting.
And then one thing that I got particularly excited over was that Kelly Clarkson actually shared a video about the song Looking In.
Oh, yes.
And basically just saying how incredible the song is, that Mariah is such a great songwriter, how much she loves her. So Mariah responded to this with, "Thank you for acknowledging one of the most personal songs I've ever written. It's a huge compliment coming from you, because I know music is your life as it is mine. Love you and can't wait to see you again." So I think we can say officially that Mariah does know Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, she does know Kelly Clarkson. I did spend a lot of this week just watching videos of where does Mariah know her.
Ah, yes.
Is
it like what happens live and things?
There was that main one, but then someone had edited a whole bunch of other instances of her going, "No, I don't know her," about a whole lot of people on other interviews. I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. I love the I don't know her shade.
Yeah. There's like...
By the way, when you brought up Kelly Clarkson, I had just
Which I often do.
I'm going to have to put down TARP because I'm about to drop a name.
Things getting whacked.
So Kelly Clarkson performed on the rooftop of the radio station where I worked.
I remember it.
I still have the recording of it. It is pristine and beautiful. And I got to introduce her and maybe hit her in the mouth with a microphone.
Oh, you did too?
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
And she never sang again.
She never sang again. One of her teeth popped out. No, it didn't. But it was, I was very, I was like, oh no, I've ruined Kelly Clarkson.
And this was not, Kelly Clarkson now. This was Kelly Clarkson breakaway era.
Yeah, this is since you've been gone.
Yeah, big.
I mean,
she's still
the
big
biggest
now,
star in the world.
Yeah.
Like, she was huge.
And I'm sure she would have been like, no, it's fine. Thank you.
She was so lovely. She was so sweet, even though I smacked her in the face with a microphone.
But it is nice to know that one of the other people that we know and love, Mariah has accepted into Mariah's world.
So I am 2 steps away from Mariah by way of some dental work.
Which means I'm free.
Yes!
Yay! It always helps knowing you because you have a lot of
I have
steps to
had
Kevin
a
Bacon.
lot of very superficial moments with a lot of very superficial people.
Bring me on down. But now we should probably dive into the meat of this week, which is...
Look, you know, the meat of this week is... you know, there was an announcement a little while back where Mariah said she was doing a Christmas special for Apple TV Plus. And I was like, I cancelled that. Do I have to resubscribe? And I was like, no, I'll resist it. Maybe come Christmas, I'll do it as a treat to myself. And then there was the announcement that Oprah and Mariah would be having a chat on the Apple TV Plus. So I've resubscribed.
You have? You've done it? All for Mariah.
Well, I watched all of the morning show and there's nothing else there I wanted to watch. So I'm back on.
The Oprah conversation. Now, I want to begin by saying I lost my shit when advertising this special, Mariah and Oprah tweeted a reenactment of Oprah not knowing the lyrics to We Belong Together.
Oh, I know. What?
I think because it was...
Oprah doesn't know the lyrics to anything, though, to be fair to Oprah.
But I love...
Whenever anyone sang on her show, she was always singing along and not knowing
not have any idea. But really feeling herself. But I thought that particular clip was the most iconic. And I actually referenced it on the socials when I called Oprah television icon and knower of Mariah Carey lyrics. So for this to have happened, it just gave me some weird kind of validation that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, no, I think it was all you.
Yeah. And
this is like your Schitt's Creek account that went crazy.
I know. Oh my god!
Like, because for those who don't know, you're behind the
Major Moira.
Yeah,
which
Twitter account.
I do worry
where
that,
you compared them side by side.
Yeah, Madonna and Moira Rose. It's nearly at 100 comparisons. That's insane.
It's very funny.
But it was fun to see Oprah poke fun at herself. We don't often get to see that. And it made me feel a little bit better because, as you know, we talked about this in off mic, that Oprah and I were in a little bit of a feud. She's not aware of this and probably never will be. No. But I got frustrated because Oprah seems to have an issue with chewing gum. And she tried to tell Reese Witherspoon not to chew it. And Reese was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Shut up, Oprah.
Whatevs. Whatevs, Opie.
And I actually said, you know what, Oprah, like, I understand that's, there's some trauma behind chewing gum in your life. Mm-hmm. But you are Oprah. You probably can afford some therapy. Which in this interview, Oprah was like, oh, I've never had therapy. I was like, Oprah, what are you doing? I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this.
I was shocked by that as well. I know she said, I mean, for someone that hangs around with Dr. Phil so much, I think like he would have given her a couple of freebies. But her just like, I drew it on my therapy on the TV show. It's like, it's not the same, Oprah. It's not the same.
And just the fact that, Oprah is Oprah.
Just because you talk to Eckhart Tolle for 10 weeks on a podcast doesn't mean you've done any therapy.
She just gets everyone at the Legends Ball to, give her a pep talk.
Tina Turner, pep me up.
Yeah. Hang on, let me get my wig.
She just makes a phone call. I feel terrible. I might call Tina. Tina will sort me out.
That's me, but with Tina Arena.
Oh, you don't want to call her for a pep talk. My God. The air would be blue. She has got a foul mouth on her. I love her.
But no, that's the Oprah feud that I'm in. And look, I feel like this interview has gone a little way in healing that rift.
Oh, bless.
So
all 1.5 hours of it.
I know. And, I loved every minute.
I loved every minute as well. Now, we should point out there's a lot in this interview we're not going to go into because we're going to wait till we get to that part of the book.
Yes.
I know Oprah's a big spoiler of books.
I know. She was just like, here's everything.
Here's the whole book. Here it all is. Here's all your trauma. So we're going to wait till we get to various chapters. But I want to talk about one or two things that have come up. A, Mariah Carey is about to embark on a stand-up comedy tour because she is mad for her ATM with a wig on joke.
I know. People should get ready for the artwork for this week's podcast because I've already done it.
Also, how skilled is Oprah at flogging stuff? Like, there was not a moment where she wasn't flashing the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Like, I've got an hour and 20 minutes of Mariah Carey here, but I'm going to flog the book. Also, dropping the name Apple Books, Apple Podcasts, Apple...
She was even like, it's
Apple
out
TV
now,
Plus.
which it's not, but whatever.
No. But I guess that's the thing of like that show will only, there's only going to be like 4 days where you can watch that show and it's
Without
not
the
going to be
book,
available.
yeah.
So from there on in, you know, and you can you can press the button and it'll be there, but it won't necessarily have downloaded yet.
You'll just get the front cover.
But yeah, I did. You know what I forgot though, because Oprah's not on every day anymore. No, it's a very rare appearance to see Oprah having a chat to someone. I forgot how much Oprah loves to interview someone and then just tell their story to them.
Yes, the whole time I was sitting there going. I mean, lucky she called it conversation because. It's not an interview. It's Oprah talking.
Oh, but that's all of her interviews have been like that. Like since the dawn of time.
Maybe she thinks that everyone is just writing their story and that the book just for her.
Look, I don't know. But it's a very Oprah thing. Like it is very Oprah to just tell someone their story while they're like in the middle of them trying to articulate it. She's just like, shut it down.
Yeah.
I know what your story is. Like, do you? But no, and no one argues with it because it's Oprah.
And I will say there were a few times where she even told her off.
I know. Where she's like, I didn't ask you that question.
Because I haven't asked any questions. I'm just talking at you. But you're still answering it wrong, Mariah.
One of my favourite moments in the video is when she says, do you believe that you deserve success and blah, blah, blah. And Mariah started to answer something else. And she's gone, no! Do you believe? Like prime Oprah moment.
Yeah, it really was.
It made me so nostalgic for the Oprah of old. I'm like, oh, I've missed this. I've missed every day being able to just pop an Oprah on and see her talking over the top of someone who's come on to explain their pain. I really have missed it. I loved it so much because it's like I know, like I feel like I'm angry and yelling about it, but she does some things up better than anyone else on her show. Yeah, like she's really skilled at it.
She's like, I'd like to thank me for coming on my show and explaining everything. Maybe Oprahsplaining is the new term. Oprahsplaining.
Oprahsplaining. You think I'm a bad name dropper? Oh my Lord. I was amazed it got us nearly an hour before we got a mention of Maya Angelou.
I know.
But we got one. If you're playing Oprah Bingo, we've got telling someone's story for them. Yep. We've got singing a word. We've got Maya Angelou and we've got Mariah Carey.
Yeah. I know the one thing she didn't do is mention her friend, Julia Roberts. It's the one thing. Or John Travolta. It's the only other thing she didn't do.
I know.
I'm surprised she didn't announce. I'm surprised it's randomly in the middle. She didn't tell Mariah she had something under her chair. Give
under your chair is a copy
everyone.
Of your book.
Yeah.
I put it there, Oprah.
Yeah, because we're not actually in the same room.
Do you know what else I loved? The fact that they were talking via Zoom. Like they're talking over the internet. And Oprah has decorated her television. So
I didn't spot that.
A bit of white craft border around it. Like there's a bit of overlap where the sticky tape hadn't gone all the way down. Maybe my television is too high definition and I need to be watching it on my phone.
I watched it on my computer. So.
Oh no, I was watching it on my massive 4K television. Just going, oh, Opie, stick that down. That corner is coming away. Your craft is no good. But yeah, the white border on that TV, it's not natural.
Okay. I'll go back and have a little look. Another Oprah favourite moment was when she said, when Mariah was talking about her youth, Oprah was like, oh, it makes me want to tear up. but I won't. Like, she's like, that was the silent added, like, I'm not going to.
I'm not going.
It makes me want to, makes me think about it, but I'm not.
There were some tears, though. Mariah did have a little tear when she was talking about Leontine Price, the opera singer. And I thought, oh, there it is. The single tear escaped.
Yeah.
Obviously wearing waterproof mascara because it did not ruin anything. And then another one came out the other side. I was like, oh, she's gone the double tear.
The Leontine Price letter that Mariah included in the book. It just made me think, like, imagine getting a letter like that from someone you've looked up to. And it just made me think, you know what, I just want someone to write me a letter that says nice things about
all right,
me.
I'll write you a letter.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? There's 26 in the alphabet. Which letter do you want me to write?
What would you like? Yeah. I don't
P for Posh.
But it has to have, I want you to write ATM with a wig on it. If Mariah were to write you a letter, what would you like? What would you want her to say to you?
Oh, again, this is one of those things. I've managed to narrowly avoid meeting Mariah a couple of times.
Same, obviously.
Like my mate Jamie interviewed her for radio.
Is this Jamie Rowe?
Yes. And he...
Sorry, let me pick that name up off the floor.
And he said at the end of it, so the time was finished, and then she just kept chatting. Like they finished the interview, and then just kept gasping. And he said she was adorable and lovely. And I'm like, yeah, I would like to believe that, but I also want to see the diva Mariah, and I'd want her to sing to me. And it's just like, and then I'd want to be her best friend. And I'm like, well, it's probably better I don't ever meet her, because, you know, like a friend of mine was convinced when she met Sarah Jessica Parker, they were going to become best friends or go out and have Cosmos and pick up men at a nightclub. Yeah.
Well, because SJP does have that kind of air about her. I saw her on the project. I was like, oh, you're very open and friendly. So she does make you feel like, even through the TV, that you got to be best friends. Yeah.
And it didn't happen. And she was devastated. And she was like, I get it. She's professional. She's really good at making you feel like you're her best mate in that moment where you're talking to her, and then she's gone to do whatever else she's doing. So yeah, it's one of those things, like, because I've met a lot of people, like, you know, Sandra Bullock remembered me hours later when I bumped into her again. She was fun. She was funny. You know, Jessica Biel was lovely. Ryan Reynolds told me I was funny. Like, oh my God, this tarp is putrid at the moment.
Right?
I've dropped so many names. But, you know, if that happened, if I'd met Mariah, I'd probably be starstruck and not able to do my job properly, which happened when I met Marsha Hines.
Oh, really?
I know, because I loved her when I was a little kid. I was obsessed with Marsha Hines as a little kid. And then I met her at, I think it was like the Logies announcements or something, and they were flogging Australian Idol. And I was all kind of flustered and weird and freaking out. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm having like a fan moment. She goes, you are, girlfriend. Look at you.
Oh,
I was like,
I love her.
And she loved it. She was so into the fact that I was starstruck.
Oh, that's cute.
Like, as in like a huge ego boosting way. Like, you know, here's everyone running around wanting to talk to people from Neighbours and Andrew G. And I'm like, oh my God, Marsha.
May Andrew G rest in peace. Now, one thing that Oprah really flogged from I believe, page 6 of the book, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, which is available on Apple Books.
No mention of the Audible one, because Apple and Amazon are competing entities.
Essentially, they told the story. Mariah sort of elaborated about her friend Maureen.
Maureen
said that when Mariah sings, it's like there's music with her voice. I'm paraphrasing. But we need to find out, who is Maureen, and did Mariah make her up?
No, I'm sure Maureen's real.
Do you think she was at home just singing in the mirror going, God, I'm good, and then was like, thanks, Maureen? Like, you know?
Maureen, I mean...
Maureen and Mariah.
Maureen was she Mariah's age, or is she older? Because Maureen is not a name that is like... I don't know anyone my age called Maureen.
The only Maureen I know...
my parents' age.
Is Maureen Prescott from Scream.
Right.
And in that third movie, I've got to tell you, she's the scariest thing about that entire series. Just that woman's face in those photos is enough to give me nightmares. Like, I don't care if Rose McGowan's face is getting squished in the garage. It's Maureen Prescott is the real killer of that movie. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know any Maureens. Like, it's Maureen
McCormick.
Marsha from the Brady Bunch was a Maureen.
Yeah, she was a Maureen. Yeah, I agree.
Maureen. It's one of those names you have to scream like a real bogan. Maureen. I'm looking forward to finding out more about Maureen. Do you think we learn more about Maureen, or because this is the meaning of Mariah Carey, we just get Maureen's interactions with Mariah?
With Mariah, yeah, exactly. I think that's as far as it's going to get. I love that she was like, that's why I remembered her name. Because she said something nice to me.
Because her name is Mariah Een. Mariah Een. That's how I remembered it.
Yeah. Another thing that struck me in the book, and I know it was.
I love when you struck.
I know it was a more. I know it was a more serious subject matter that she was talking about, and it wasn't a funny moment, but it just kept bringing me back, which is when Mariah kept saying that both her siblings and her mother don't know her. And the entire time, all I could think of was, well, Mariah, you don't know an awful lot of people. So I'm now imagining Mariah going to, Thanksgiving, which is probably why it's cancelled, walking in and they're like, we don't know you.
Do you think that's where it comes from? Her thinking that is the ultimate insult.
Yeah, maybe.
Is because she feels like she's not known by the people closest to her. So therefore, if she doesn't know someone, you can say nothing more horrific.
Yeah.
Oh.
It probably is.
I think we've just analysed her.
I was just looking off into the distance.
Speaking of quite serious things, her talking about her inner child at the start. Have you done any inner child therapy in your mini forays into
being crazy?
Not being crazy. Into therapeutic treatments.
I mean, I haven't in a way of, we are now going to do this exercise where you are your inner child. I will say, though, the one thing that I have noticed, which is a positive thing, the more work I've sort of done on myself, the more I get back to being who I was at 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
In terms of just that excitement and sort of the purity of my personality.
And the vulnerability. Being able to let things happen to you, whether it's good or bad, just going, okay, I'm gonna let myself feel something.
Yeah, and not react necessarily.
Pushing that away.
So I haven't done actual specific things, but we've had to go through a lot of the issues.
It's the worst thing about therapy when they go to get through something, you got to go through it. It's like, I've been through it once.
Yeah. Shut up, Maureen.
That's my therapist's name. Because when I heard her talking about her inner child, I was like, oh man, this explains the cover to me.
Yes. It did actually make me wonder.
Because you have to draw pictures of your own inner child.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, that's one of the things. And I'm like, maybe that wasn't a drawing she did when she was a kid.
No, yeah, she did it in therapy.
She just did that as part of her therapy.
It did make me wonder, because she was talking about how everything that she's kind of, the Mariah we see now in a lot of ways has been a reaction to that trauma and the childhood. Yes. And that writing this book is a way of her sort of almost freeing herself from some of that. And it makes me wonder, is she now going to revert to who she would have been all of a sudden? The fans are gone.
Oh no! I mean, that's part of the therapy journey. I'm going to get all serious on your ass now, but that's part of the therapy journey, which is that thing of acceptance and commitment, which is going, I accept all these things that have happened to me, and they make up who I am. And
the meaning of Mariah Carey.
The meaning of Mariah Carey. But yeah, it's like yes, it was traumatic. Yes, horrible things happened to me, but I wouldn't have created the amazing things I have. I wouldn't have done the incredible things I've done. I wouldn't have been become the person I am without those things. It's just about going, rather than going, oh, I want to get rid of them out of my life, because it's like, well, then do you revert to being a child and have to start all over again, or do you just go, yeah, I had some crap happen. I wasn't great about it for a long time, but now I just accept that it's part of me, and I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for that crap in my life. So I'm kind of excited to see that part of it, because part of the way she was talking about her family, I'm not entirely sure she's finished going through that.
I will say that the quote that I wrote down was just referring to her family was she was sort of speaking from their point of view, which is she thinks she can have everything. By the way, what can we get from her? Yeah. Which I was like, that was a real moment, as was some of the reactionary moments to Oprahsplaining of the book. So yeah. And you know what? There's always going to be things that, even if we accept them, still are a little bit of a trigger and still painful on a moment.
Absolutely.
That I should bring it to my favorite quote of the entire interview, which is, I can't go to an ice cream stand looking for hot dogs.
Oh, it is perfect.
Isn't that heaven?
It is perfect. The fact that she's... I mean, look, she's obviously
Mariah
never been to Wendy's.
The fact that Mariah knows what a hot dog is.
Oh, of course.
Has blown my mind. But I think Wendy's in America is more like a McDonald's.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, but people don't understand. In Australia, Wendy's is like milkshakes, ice cream, and hot dogs.
Oh, and the only Wendy's that exist are in the aisle of a shopping centre next to mobile phone covers.
Yeah. In Cranbourne,
mobile phone covers, ice cream, and hot dog. Yeah. The one place.
Oh, now I really want to go to Wendy's. Before I wrap up the Oprah conversation, was there anything else you wanted to touch on from the conversation?
I'm a little bit worried about the impetus of writing this book. From the ATM with a wig on comments, and when she said, I didn't do this without being dragged by people. I'm like, she's watched far too much Drag Race. Drag her! There's something oddly vengeful about it, which is a worry.
Okay. I mean, it does seem she's been waiting a long time to tell some of these stories. As she said, she maybe wouldn't have, but she's like, now I've got permission.
And I love her and Oprah bonding over the fact that their families are selling their stories all over.
I know.
So yeah, I'm
so relatable.
I know. I imagine it's coming from a good place of therapy and airing, your personal demons. Yeah. But yeah, the being dragged by people thing made me go, oh, is she going to feel terrible about this in like 2 years' time? Or I don't know. It's I am concerned. We may need to get some special guests on at some point to talk through some of the issues, because neither of us are professionals, nor are we women or people of color. So as we go through the book, we might need to rope in some, well, if not experts, people with a more lived experience than we have.
Absolutely. And as things happen, if any Lamley out there has had a lived experience similar, feel free to contact us.
Yeah, please do. Me, I am a memoir at gmail.com is our email. Me, I am a memoir on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook and everywhere.
A lot of things. At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright. That's a no. But before we wrap up, the last thing I just wanted to touch on was the last thing that Mariah and Oprah touched on, when Oprah was like, "Give me a word." One word.
I'll write this down because you said you want me to write you a letter. I'll just pick one letter from that word.
But the word that Mariah used was freer. Which then Oprah spouted on about for 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, freedom.
She just sang the George Michael song. Yeah. But it's funny, like my only note on that was that every time I see it written down, it makes me think of Judy Greer. Oh my God. It looks like Freer.
Freer. It's. I think of Freons and I immediately get hungry.
I don't know what a Freon is. Probably best I don't.
It's like a little kind of muffiny thing.
Yeah,
it's
probably
really
best I
moist.
don't. But no, I think that brings us to the end. We've got more to look forward to.
Yes, I think things are going to get pretty heavy as the
there's
book
an
goes along.
iHeartRadio special coming on the day of the release.
She's doing Colbert. She's doing
a bunch of interviews.
Trevor Noah. So
all of these bonus episodes we weren't supposed to do, but have.
Well, because it's been fun.
It does make me think, oh God, the chapters are going to go for 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think we've covered everything for this week in Mariah's world.
It's been a big week of Mariah.
Oh, every week. Imagine being Mariah. Every week.
It would be exhausting being
Mariah. I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Like just painting on the shadow on the chin would be like a couple of hours.
I will say I really noticed it. And it makes me want to do the same for my ISO chin. Ooh, but yeah, it was a little full on this time, I will say. Just having a bad chin day.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'll probably talk to you next week, Posh, because there's going to be so many Mariah episodes this week as we head towards the book dropping.
We're just like little birds and she's regurgitating information and into our hungry gobs.
That is a terrifying visual image. Mariah feeding us.
Might have to add that to the artwork.
No, don't. All right, darling. Big air kisses. Right. Mwah, mwah. Goodbye, Lamely.
Bye, Lamely.